During the rise of the Roman Empire period, and considering all that the ancient Jews had been through, one must be careful about lumping the Jews together. In the upper right corner of this slide is a portrait of Jacob Neusner, the most respected scholar on Judaism. In his introduction to Judaism entitled The Way of Torah, Neusner stated that during this period there is no such thing as Judaism. There are Judaisms, plural. What he was referring to is that we must speak of ancient sectors of Judaism, not one unified religion. Let's circle around this slide. Starting in the upper left corner was a sector called the Sadducees, one of the sectors that returned to Judea. They tended to be conservative and aristocratic, generally linked with the temple, many of them being part of the Sanhedrin. Going to the right was another sector, sometimes called Herodians, named after King Herod, who represented Rome as he ruled over the Jews in Judea. This sector, for the sake of peace, would tend to go along with whatever dictates came down from Rome and Herod. Going to the right upper corner were the most numerous of the ancient sectors, Hellenized or Greek-speaking Jews. These were the Jews that did not return to the homeland and acculturated more or less to the surrounding cultures. Beneath the Hellenized Jews were the Zealots, called super patriots by the Romans. This sector could not abide or tolerate the Jews living under the control of any nation. They would periodically wage guerrilla-type warfare against Rome, because no one in their right mind would ever fight against Rome mano a mano or in symmetrical fashion. It would be the activities of this sector and Jews sympathetic to this sector that would lead to events like the Bar Kokhba revolt and Masada. This Jewish resistance would lead to the Great Diaspora and the destruction of the Second Jerusalem Temple. At the bottom center of the slide is a fascinating ancient sector known as the Essenes. They were a monastic community who lived near the Dead Sea. They tended to be messianic in nature, trying to live a holier lifestyle than surrounding Jews. The last ancient sector on this slide, in the lower left corner, happens to be the only sector that will survive into the Middle Ages and beyond. These are the Pharisees, a sector that tended to be legalistic and liberal. Legalistic in the importance they placed on the Torah, and liberal in the way they created a very stylistic way of interpreting the Torah. This would be the sector that would eventually become the rabbis. Oh, guess what? There is another sector of ancient Judaism that also survived, but is not on this slide. They were sometimes called Nazarenes or Nazarites or Messianic Jews. Can you guess the name of this sector? They are going to do very, very well. Jessica raises her hand and yells out, "Christianity!" Yes, Christianity was born in this context, as a sect of ancient Judaism.